So we started our homestead. We had lots of issues with predators and having basically theft on our homestead. And sometimes that was from animals, and sometimes that unfortunately was from humans. Lots of farmers across the country are having the same problem, but we all have in common one simple solution. Mary Ev, what's that?
Puppies.
Everybody's favorite thing. Livestock Guardian Dogs is our topic today. Livestock Guardian Dogs make a huge impact on our homesteads, but many people are intimidated to pick out that perfect pup that's going to be able to make the impact on their homestead. So today we are talking Livestock Guardian Dogs and helping you find the right puppy. So we have amazing dogs, and I kind of wanted to break down our 5 dogs that we have here on the homestead. And I want to give 3 honorable mentions because fortunately, we lost 3 pups here. And since we've had our homestead, and they have lost their lives pretty much in the line of duty, except for one. One got really sick because we have diseases and parasites here in our soil here that we did not know about upon moving in. So I kind of wanted to break down though our dogs and what we are looking for with our dogs, and to talk about great traits and everything of each of our dogs. So our first one, I want to start with your favorite because I know she's your favorite because she's the doggy version of you, and it's Marla. She is our alpha. She's more on the almost 100% Pyrenees side. I mean, she's not 100%. She's very darn close.
Right.
And so she's got all those traits that you're looking for in a Pyrenees. So talk to me about Marla and why Marla is such a great asset for our homestead.
I really love Marla because she is so independent. And we love the independence because we don't have to go in and pet her and love on her all the time, 24/7. She doesn't require to be in the house. She doesn't require extra needs and weird puppy things that dogs absolutely have to have sometimes. She loves to take direction. When we go out there, she gives us her full attention. She wants to know what we're doing, what we're going to do. What tasks are we performing today? Are we walking the fence line? Are we checking the electric fence? Are we checking the pasture for animals? So she goes around and she follows us. She's right on my side the whole time, right on my hip. She will not leave me until she gets bored with what I'm doing or I don't give her a task to do. So those are those kind of things that I absolutely love about her. Also, the maternal side. She's phenomenal. If there's anything going on in the pasture, she will let us know. If there's a lamb down, she'll sit next to it. She's watched over lambings and goat kittings.
The first time that we had baby lambs, we had a ewe to drop a baby right in the middle of an ice storm. And
oh my goodness, I remember that one.
We're coming in from church at about 8:00 at night on like a Wednesday night. And the Marla is just going wild out there. And so we're thinking that she's got something way back there in the back. But she's making a different sound than she normally does. And we go out there to go check it out and kind of find out the ewe basically dropped the baby out there in the middle of the pasture, and it bolted for the barn and left that poor baby out there.
Well, I don't think a lot of times ewes have twins. Ours ewes typically twin. So it could be easily a misunderstanding that, hey, I don't know that I had it yet. Or maybe she thought lambs get up and walk very, very quickly after birth. So she could have just assumed that it was right there with her. During lambing season, we typically have 9 ewes. So we could drop 18 kids a season.
Yeah.
Easy, 10 to 18 kids, depending on whatever's going on. Sometimes it's how many kids we're going to have today.
Yeah.
So
I'd say it's pretty random.
It's very fickle, but typically twins, and it gives us a good idea of what's going on and everything. So she was just barking there, and she definitely let us know that Mama had forgotten her baby out in the pasture. So we did go fetch it, and Marla's just phenomenal. Like I said, she'll walk the fence line
clean. She
taking care of it. Yeah.
Like she did such a great job.
It had been kept underneath her until we could bring the lamb up to the barn with the mom. And Mom was just like, oh, hey. Lambs are kind of stupid sometimes.
They are. So for our male, we have Sushi. So Sushi has been Sushi is the oldest dog. Probably, I think he's the oldest animal on the farm, period.
Him and Nadina.
Him and Nadine got to be very
Nadine
close.
have probably the same age.
So he's about 7 years old.
I think he's 6.
So yeah, somewhere around in there.
Because I think we got him right after Tanner was born.
Gotcha. Well, anyways, so Sushi is a great dog. He's probably, I hate to say, one of the favorite animals on the farm, but just from
it's okay.
Just from a personality standpoint, he comes in the house a lot. Now he's fickle about being inside of fencing. He likes to be in the fencing when he benefits from being in the fencing, aka Marla's in the mood, if you know what I mean. So he kind of is a little bit more of a free roamer. Our boys typically are a little bit more free roamers than the girls. The girls are really good about staying in the pasture. But Sushi, talk to us about Sushi and what does Sushi bring to the table?
Oh my goodness. Sushi, his bark is very deep. It's scary. It's loud. His size is, what's the right word? It's
majestic.
Almost majestic. I was going to say commanding.
Yeah.
He's got a commanding stance when he stands up.
People are typically very scared of him. He's now, to his credit, his bark is so deep, a lot of people won't challenge him. And
Correct.
Which I'm thankful for, because if people stuck their hand out, he'd probably roll over for them to pet his belly.
Yeah, let's hope that a trespasser is just say, hey, I'm not going to mess with this dog because he's so sweet.
Now, he had a half brother we're talking about, Chopsticks.
Right.
And Chopsticks was the opposite. So we'll talk. Next one is one of our new ones, because we got 3 new pups that are on the farm, and they're kind of starting the training
because I need to overdo it.
Right. So the first one is ramen
noodles.
So we got ramen, Motzi, as in mozzarella, because she was a giant fluff ball when she was born.
I don't know why we decided mozzarella was a good name for a giant fluffy dog.
Fluffy and fat. She looks like a ball of fresh mozzarella. I gotta say it like my Italian friends. Mozzarella. So, but her name is Motzi.
Motzi.
And then our last one is Two-Face. So if we could talk about Two-Face is Two-Face because he has markings. He was one of our other more Anatolian based dogs. And
he looks just like her except for the color of his coat.
Yeah. But he's got part of the mask that kind of comes down for his face. So it's kind of like the Batman villain Two-Face. So half of his face is like
badger
gray.
Marking.
Yeah. And so the other side is like straight up,
So Two-Face came to mind. That's where his name came from. But Two-Face is fantastic. He takes after his mom and his grandma. Yeah, because his mom had a different dad. Anyways, he takes after his mom, Saki, which we're going to talk about here in a few minutes. Very, very obedient, loves to stay in the pen, loves to sit with the livestock. When we go in there, he gives me his attention. Just like Marla, he wants a task. He wants to know what's going on. He wants to walk the fence line. When we're out, we're pulling out of the driveway, you see him. He'll be sitting with the sheep. He'll be sitting with the goats. He likes to be in the midst of things. He's watching things.
Yeah.
The crows, he's going to bark at the crows. He's going to tell them they don't have no business here.
That's right.
And so he takes care of it. And he's developing, he's very young. He's developing this great bark. He's developing his, instincts and his intuition.
It's a little bit different than Ramen. Ramen is his half brother.
Correct.
Ramen is a lot more passive, and Two-Face seems to be a lot more kind of like his grandfather, which was Chopsticks.
Yes,
to be a little bit more aggressive and be a little bit more of a hammer in search of a nail.
Right.
Which I think that's a great characteristic to have in a pasture, and he stays in the pasture. I don't have to fight him now to keep him in the for now, until he learns bad habits.
Those boys just like to roam. That is all. So Motzi is a great dog. He's fantastic. He just loves to cuddle. When we go outside, he follows us. He will seek me out. He will come to me. He will ask me for direction. He will ask me for a task. Yeah. So to speak.
He wants to know. He's a people pleaser.
He very much a people pleaser. Also, all of these dogs, except for sometimes Marla, but I think we've got her trained now. Marla came to us from a different farm, which I don't always recommend because you don't know what they've been exposed to or anything. She had not been exposed to chickens. She'd only been exposed to sheep her whole life. So we have chickens, ducks, all sorts of crazy animals because, we're kind of crazy. So so she'd never seen a chicken before and was like, hey, these look fun to play with.
And then they found out that they were delicious.
Yes. So, but the other dogs we have been training from birth, you don't touch chickens. Chickens are something to watch. So if something comes near the chicken pen, we know a chicken is out. Sushi will sit there. He will look at it and he will bark, 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 bark. Meat birds.
Yeah.
Those little rascals, I don't even know how they ever get out of that fencing. We've tried like 18 different methods to get these meat birds in a fencing so we can move them around, or in a fencing so they can just stay there for a little bit. I mean, and they find their way out. But the dogs will let us know when they're out. They will sit there with the chickens. They will protect them. I like that. They let us know when something's wrong.
I agree. So I did want to give a shout out because unfortunately we have lost some really good dogs over our time in homesteading. And
oh man,
these are 3 that absolutely hurt the soul. And but I kind of did want to talk about them because, like, especially like Chopsticks was definitely, his genetics were a lot more heavy on the Anatolian. He probably had 15, 20 pounds on Sushi's right around 95.
He probably had 4 or 5 inches on.
Probably 120 pounds, and he was probably 3 or 4 inches taller.
Yeah.
When he would stand on his hind legs, he just looked down on you.
His face was just this big.
I always
just
called him
larger than your face. It's just.
I always called him an alligator head. It's just like the way that it's shaped and everything. It's just long and it was very wide. And he was just such a great dog to have. But we talked about like Sushi is a barker. And we had an incident where we had a wild cat. Not sure if it was a smaller bobcat or what had happened. We were in our first homestead, but the dogs had pinned it up in some high grass in a corner, and the cat couldn't do anything. And so Chopsticks, it was his turn to kind of be in that night. So Chopsticks is hearing all the madness going on outside, and Sushi has pinned it up in the corner, but he's only barking at it. All I have to do is open the door.
You cracked it. He bolted. He pushed you over. He's like, I'm gonna get this.
He climbed up a 6-foot fence. I don't want to say climbed. I'd like to say the word leaped, because that really was one motion over the top of that fence. And he didn't go and bark. He immediately jumped into the high grass. The grass was so high that you couldn't really even see him through it, as big as he was.
Right.
But he immediately attacked that cat. And I believe it was a bobcat that was in there trying to lurch on our chickens.
We did have bobcats and raccoons love the chickens.
Yeah.
And so we learned very quickly. We like to take turns giving them a night off, but we did learn during those certain seasons where they're looking for food more aggressively, those types of animals, that we do need both dogs outside as much as we love spending time with them and treating them like family and telling them that they're important, which is we're going to get into here in a little bit. But it was definitely necessary to have them out there protecting our livestock.
So we've had 2 offspring. And so we have Tofu, which is one of, as far as like, you think about just somebody being just a good companion and really sweet, stayed in the pasture. And so that's Tofu.
Correct.
Tofu, she threw the genetics of Marla. So she was very heavy on the Great Pyrenees sides.
Correct.
Because she was a Sushi who's heavy on the Pyrenees, mixed with Marla, who's heavy on the Pyrenees.
Right.
And so you had this beautiful, beautiful, long.
She was majestic.
Hair. She was. I mean, her tail was like a swan's tail.
When she wasn't rolling around in the red clay.
She loved her some red clay. And then our other one was Saki. And Saki was a direct descendant between Marla and Chopsticks. Chopsticks was our first breeder male. He was the more alpha between Sushi and Chopsticks. Yeah. Chopsticks was definitely our alpha. But Saki, again, she had all the traits of Chopsticks. And so she was just a great dog. She was always, again, a hammer in search of a nail. It wasn't very hard to train her. She really wanted to be trained. She wanted to have tasks. She wanted to have purpose. And again, I kind of trade that in for that Anatolian side of her a little bit, that she wants to please, and she wants to make her master happy. You know?
Right.
This has been a great series. So please make sure that if you got the time to check in and check all of those out. If you are loving this content, we have an amazing opportunity for you. You can be behind the scenes with us. Go into the description down below. You're going to see a great link at homesteadingchef.com down below. There you can sign up for a great mail list. And that mail list goes out once a month. It's just a quick email.
Not twice a month.
Not twice a month, just once a month. And then basically you get
every week.
Gosh, no.
Twice a day.
No, we have some of those homesteader friends that do that. I'm not into the spamming of your email. I have a full-time job and a life, so I don't spam you either. But what we do, though, is at the beginning of the month, in that first week, we put out a great newsletter of all the behind-the-scenes podcasts like these. This has been recorded for over an hour and a half long conversation. And if you're really into having those deep dive podcasts where we really go into all the stuff, a lot less editing, you'll be able to go in and listen to all of those. And that's the only place where you get access to that.
All of it?
All of it.
Every bit of it.
You could even hear her snoring in the background when I woke her up. Oh my gosh. Well, we love you guys. We're always praying for you. Thank you so much for hanging out here with us at Homesteading Chef. I'm the chef. I'm Jonathan Boyd. This is my lovely wife, Mary Ev, and she is just the bee's knees.
And we're totally matching today.
We are totally matching today. Twinsies. Killing it. Y'all have a great week, and we're looking forward to seeing you next time on Homesteading Chef.